Now this is the law of the jungle, as old and as true as the sky, and the wolf that shall keep it may prosper, but the wolf that shall break it must die. As the creeper that girdles the tree trunk, the law runneth forward and back, for the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. Wash daily from nose tip to tail tip. Drink deeply, but never too deep. And remember the night is for hunting, and forget not the day is for sleep. The jackal may follow the tiger, but cub, when thy whiskers are grown, remember the wolf is a hunter. Go forth and get food of thine own. Keep peace with the lords of the jungle, the tiger, the panther, the bear, and trouble not Haiti the silent, and mock not the boar in his lair. When pack meets with pack in the jungle, and neither will go from the trail, lie down till the leaders have spoken. It may be fair words shall prevail. When ye fight with the wolf of the pack, ye must fight him alone and afar, lest others take part in the quarrel, and the pack be diminished by war. The lair of the wolf is his refuge, and where he has made him his home, not even the head wolf may enter, not even the council may come. The lair of the wolf is his refuge, but where he has digged it too plain, the council shall send him a message, and so he shall change it again. If he kill before midnight, be silent, and wake not the woods with your bay, lest you frighten the deer from the crops, and the brothers go empty away. You may kill for yourselves, and your mates, and your cubs as they need, and ye can, but kill not for pleasure of killing, and 7 times never kill man. If he plunder his kill from a weaker, devour not all in thy pride. Pack right is the right of the meanest, so leave him the head and the hide. The kill of the pack is the meat of the pack. You must eat where it lies, and no one may carry away of that meat to his lair, or he dies. The kill of the wolf is the meat of the wolf. He may do what he will, but till he is given permission, the pack may not eat of that kill. Cub right is the right of the yearling. From all of his pack he may claim full gorge when the killer has eaten, and none may refuse him the same. Lair right is the right of the mother. From all of her year she may claim 1 haunch of each kill for her litter, and none may deny her the same. Cave right is the right of the father, to hunt by himself for his own. He is freed of all calls to the pack. He is judged by the council alone. Because of his age and his cunning, because of his gripe and his paw, in all that the law leaveth open, the word of the head wolf is law. Now these are the laws of the jungle, and many and mighty are they. But the head and the hoof of the law, and the haunch and the hump is obey.
God of our fathers, known of old, Lord of our far-flung battle line, beneath whose awful hand we hold dominion over palm and pine, Lord God of hosts, be with us yet, lest we forget, lest we forget. The tumult and the shouting dies, the captains and the kings depart. Still stands thine ancient sacrifice, an humble and a contrite heart. Lord God of hosts, be with us yet, lest we forget, lest we forget. Far cold our navies melt away, on dune and headland sinks the fire. Lo, all our pomp of yesterday is one with Nineveh and Tyre. Judge of the nations, spare us yet, lest we forget, lest we forget. If, drunk with sight of power, we loose wild tongues that have not thee in awe, such boastings as the Gentiles use, or lesser breeds without the law. Lord God of hosts, be with us yet, lest we forget, lest we forget. For heathen heart that puts her trust in reeking tube and iron shard, all valiant dust that builds on dust, and guarding, calls not thee to guard. For frantic boast and foolish word, thy mercy on thy people, Lord. We pulled for you when the wind was against us and the sails were low. Will you never let us go? We ate bread and onions when you took towns, or ran aboard quickly when you were beaten back by the foe. The captains walked up and down the deck in fair weather singing songs, but we were below. We fainted with our chins on the oars, and you did not see that we were idle, for we still swung to and fro. Will you never let us go? The salt made the oar handles like shark skin. Our knees were cut to the bone with salt cracks. Our hair was stuck to our foreheads, and our lips were cut to the gums, and you whipped us because we could not row. Will you never let us go? But in a little time we shall run out of the portholes as the water runs along the oar blade. And though you tell the others to row after us, you will never catch us till you catch the oar thresh, and tie up the winds in the belly of the sail. Oh, will you never let us go?
I've made for you a song, and it may be right or wrong, but only you can tell me if it's true. I've tried for to explain both your pleasure and your pain, and Thomas, here's my best respects to you. Oh, there'll surely come a day when they'll give you all your pay and treat you as a Christian ought to do. So until that day comes round, heaven keep you safe and sound, and Thomas, here's my best respects to you. They shut the road through the woods 70 years ago. Weather and rain have undone it again. And now you would never know there was once a road through the woods before they planted the trees. It is underneath the coppice and heath and the thin anemones. Only the keeper sees that where the ringdove broods and the badgers roll at ease, there was once a road through the woods. Yet, if you enter the woods of a summer evening late, when the night air cools on the trout-ringed pools where the otter whistles his mate, they fear not men in the woods because they see so few. You will hear the beat of the horse's feet and the swish of the skirt in the dew, steadily cantering through the misty solitudes, as though they perfectly knew the old lost road through the woods. But there is no road through the woods.
We have fed our sea for 1,000 years, and she calls us still unfed, though there's never a wave of all her waves but marks our English dead. We have strawed our best to the weeds' unrest, to the shark and the shearing gull. If blood be the price of admiralty, Lord God, we have paid in full. There's never a flood goes shoreward now, but lifts a keel we manned. There's never an ebb goes seaward now, but drops our dead on the sand. But slinks our dead on the sands for law from the Deuces to the Swin. If blood be the price of admiralty, if blood be the price of admiralty, Lord God, we have paid it in. We must feed our sea for 1,000 years, for that is our doom and pride, as it was when they sailed with the Golden Hind, or the wreck that struck last tide, or the wreck that lies on the spouting reef where the ghastly blue lights flare. If blood be the price of admiralty, If blood be the price of admiralty, if blood be the price of admiralty, Lord God, we have bought it fair.
If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise, if you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on, if you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and, which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
Oh, east is east, and west is west, and never the twain shall meet, till earth and sky stand presently at God's great judgment seat. But there is neither east nor west, border nor breed nor birth, when two strong men stand face to face, though they come from the ends of the earth. Kamal is out with 20 men to raise the board aside, and he has lifted the colonel's mare that is the colonel's pride. He has lifted her out of the stable door between the dawn and the day, and turned the calkins upon her feet and ridden her far away. Then up and spoke the colonel's son, that led a troop of the guides. Is there never a man of all my men can say where Kamal hides? Then up and spoke Mohammed Khan, the son of the Resuldar. If ye know the track of the morning mist, ye know where his pickets are. At dusk he harries the Abajai, at dawn he is into Bonaire, but he must go by Fort Baclo to his own place to fare. So if ye gallop to Fort Baclo as fast as a bird can fly, by the favour of God ye may cut him off ere he win to the tongue of Jagai. But if he be past the tongue of Jagai, right swiftly turn ye then, for the length and the breadth of that grisly plain is sown with Kamal's men. There is rock to the left and rock to the right, and low lean thorn between, and ye may hear a breech bolt snick where never a man is seen. The colonel's son has taken horse, and a raw, rough dun was he, with the mouth of a bell and the heart of hell and the head of a gallows tree. The colonel's son to the fort has won, they bid him stay to eat. Who rides at the tail of a border thief, he sits not long at his meat. He's up and away from Fort Baclo as fast as he can fly, till he was aware of his father's mare in the gut of the tongue of Jagai, till he was aware of his father's mare with Kamal upon her back. And when he could spy the white of her eye, he made the pistol crack. He has fired once, he has fired twice, but the whistling ball went wide. Ye shoot like a soldier, Kamal said. Show now if ye can ride. It's up and over the tongue of Jagai, as blown dust devils go. The dun he fled like a stag of 10, but the mare like a barren doe. The dun he leaned against the bit and slugged his head above, but the red mare played with the snaffle bars as a maiden plays with a glove. There was rock to the left and rock to the right and low lean thorn between, and thrice he heard a breech boat snick, though never a man was seen. They have ridden the low moon out of the sky, their hoofs drum up the dawn. The dun he went like a wounded bull, but the mare like a new-roused fawn. The dun he fell at a watercourse, in a woeful heap fell he. And Kamal has turned the red mare back and pulled the rider free. He has knocked the pistol out of his hand, small room was there to strive. "'Twas only by favour of mine," quoth he rode so long alive. There was not a rock for 20 mile, there was not a clump of tree, but covered a man of my own men with his rifle cocked on his knee. If I had raised my bridle hand, as I have held it low, the little jackals that flee so fast were feasting all in a row. If I had bowed my head on my breast, as I have held it high, the kite that whistles above us now were gorged till she could not fly. Lightly answered the colonel's son, "Do good to bird and beast, but count who come for the broken meats before thou makest a feast. If there should follow 1,000 swords to carry my bones away, belike the price of a jackal's meal were more than a thief could pay. They will feed their horse on the standing crop, their men on the garnered grain. The thatch of the byres will serve their fires when all the cattle are slain. But if thou thinkest the price be fair, thy brethren wait to sup. The hound is kin to the jackal spawn. Howl, dog, and call them up. And if thou thinkest the price be high in steer and gear and stack, give me my father's mare again, and I'll fight my own way back." Kamal has gripped him by the hand and set him upon his feet. "No talk shall be of dogs," said he, "when wolf and grey wolf meet. May I eat dirt if thou hast hurt of me in deed or breath. What dam of lances brought thee forth to jest at the dawn with death?" Lightly answered the colonel's son, "I hold by the blood of my clan. Take up the mare for my father's gift. By God, she has carried a man." The red mare ran to the colonel's son and nuzzled against his breast. "We be two strong men," said Kamal then, "but she loveth the younger best. So she shall go with a lifter's dower, my turquoise studded rein, my broidered saddle and saddlecloth, and silver stirrups twain." The colonel's son a pistol drew, and held it muzzle end. "Ye have taken the one from a foe," said he. "Will ye take the mate from a friend?" "A gift for a gift," said Kamal straight. "A limb for the risk of a limb. Thy father has sent his son to me, I'll send my son to him." With that he whistled his only son, that dropped from a mountain crest. He trod the ling like a buck in spring, and he looked like a lance in rest. "Now here is thy master," Kamal said, "who leads a troop of the guides, and thou must ride at his left side as shield on shoulder rides. Till death or I cut loose the tie, at camp and board and bed, thy life is his, thy fate it is to guard him with thy head. So thou must eat the White Queen's meat, and all her foes are thine, and thou must harry thy father's hold for the peace of the border line. And thou must make a trooper tough, and hack thy way to power. Belike they will raise thee to Recessional, when I am hanged in Peshawar." They have looked each other between the eyes, and there they found no fault. They have taken the oath of the brother in blood on leavened bread and salt. They have taken the oath of the brother in blood on fire and fresh-cut sod, on the hilt and the haft of the Khyber knife, and the wondrous names of God. The colonel's son, he rides the mare, and Kamal's boy the dun. And two have come back to Fort Bucklow, where there went forth but one. And when they drew to the quarter-guard, full 20 swords flew clear. There was not a man but carried his feud with the blood of the mountaineer. "Ha done, ha done," said the colonel's son. "Put up the steel at your sides. Last night ye had struck at a border thief. Tonight 'tis a man of the guides." Oh, east is east, and west is west, and never the twain shall meet, till earth and sky stand presently at God's great judgment seat. But there is neither east nor west, border nor breed nor birth, when two strong men stand face to face, though they come from the ends of the earth.
You may talk of gin and beer when you're quartered safe out here, and you're sent to penny fights and alder-shotted, but when it comes to slaughter, you will do your work on water, and you'll lick the blooming boots of him that's got it. Now, in India's sunny clime, where I used to spend me time a-serving of Her Majesty the Queen, of all them black-faced crew, the finest man I knew was our regimental bistie, Gunga Din. He was Din, Din, Din. You limping lumber brick, that's Gunga Din. Hey, slip me of the row. Walk to get it, penny low. Yes, quidgy-nosed old idol, Gunga Din. The uniform he wore was nothing much before, and rather less than half of that behind. For a piece of twisty rag and a goatskin water bag was all the field equipment he could find. When the sweating troop train lay in a siding through the day, where the heat would make your blooming eyebrows crawl, we shouted "Harry boy!" till our throats were bricky dry. Then we whopped him 'cause he couldn't serve us all. It was "Din, Din, Din! You heathen, where the mischief have you been? You put some joldy in it, or I'll marrow you this minute, if you don't fill up my helmet, Gunga Din." He would dot and carry one till the longest day was done. He didn't seem to know the use of fear. If we charged or broke or cut, you could bet your blooming nut he'd be waiting 50 paces right flank rear. With his musket on his back, he would skip with our attack and watch us till the bugles made retire. And for all his dirty hide, he was white, clear white inside. When he went to tend the wounded under fire, it was Din, 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 with the bullets kicking dust spots on the green. When the cartridges ran out, you could hear the front rank shout, "Oi, ammunition mules and Gunga Din." I shan't forget the night when I dropped behind the fight with a bullet where my belt plate should have been. I was choking mad with thirst, and the man that spied me first was our good old grinning, grunting Gunga Din. He lifted up me head and he plugged me where I bled, and he gave me half a pint of water green. It was crawling and it stunk, but of all the drinks I've drunk, I'm gratefulest to one from Gunga Din. It was Din, Din, Din. Here's a beggar with a bullet through his spleen. He's chawing up the ground and he's kicking all around. For God's sake, get the water, Gunga Din. He carried me away to where a dooley lay, and a bullet come and drilled the beggar clean. He put me safe inside, and just before he died, "I hope you like your drink," says Gunga Din. So I'll meet him later on at the place where he is gone, where it's always double drill and no canteen. He'll be squatting on the coals giving drink to poor damn souls, and I'll get a swig in hell from Gunga Din. Yes, Din, 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 you Lazarusian leather Gunga Din. Though I belted you and flayed you, by the living God that made you, you're a better man than I am, Gunga Din. I've taken me fun where I've found it. I've rogued and I've ranged in me time. I've had me picking of sweethearts, and 4 of the lot was prime. One was an half-caste widow, one was a woman at Prome, one was the wife of a Jemadar Sage, and one is a girl at home. Now, I aren't no hand with the ladies, for taking them all along, you never can say till you've tried them, and then you like to be wrong. There's times when you'll think that you mightn't, there's times that you'll know that you might, but there's things you will learn from the yellow and brown, they'll help you a lot with the white. I was a young at Oogly, shy as a girl to begin. Aggie de Castra, she made me, and Aggie was clever as sin. Older than me, but my firstun. More like a mother she were. Showed me the way to promotion and pay, and I learned about women from her. Then I was ordered to Burma, acted in charge of bazaar, and I got me a tiddy live Eden through buying supplies off her pa. Funny and yellow and faithful, doll in a teacup she were, but we lived on the square like a true married pair, and I learned about women from her. Then we was shifted to Neemuch, or I might have been keeping her now, and I took with a shiny she-devil, the wife of a nigger at Mao. Taught me the gypsy folks' bully, kind of volcano she were, for she knifed me one night 'cause I wished she was white, and I learned about women from her. Then I come home in a trooper, long of a kid of 16, girl from a convent at Meerut, the straightest I've ever seen. Love at first sight was her trouble. She didn't know what it were, and I wouldn't do such 'cause I liked her too much. But I learned about women from her. I've taken me fun where I found it, and now I must pay for me fun. For the more you have known of the others, the less you will settle to one. And the end of it sitting and thinking, and dreaming hellfires to see. So be warned by my lot, which I know you will not, and learn about women from me. What did the Colonel's lady think? Nobody ever knew. Somebody asked the sergeant's wife, and she told 'em true. When you get to a man in the case, they're like as a row of pins, for the Colonel's lady and Judy O'Grady are sisters under their skins.
We fought with many men across the seas, and some of 'em was brave and some was not. The Pathan and the Zulu and Burmese, but the Fuzzy was the finest of the lot. We never got a ha'porth's change of him. He squatted in the scrub and hocked our horses. He cut our sentries up at Suakim, and he played the cat and banjo with our forces. So here's to you, Fuzzy-Wuzzy, at your home in the Sudan. You're a poor benighted heathen, but a first-class fighting man. We gives you your certificate, and if you want it signed, we'll come and have a romp with you whenever you're inclined. We took our chance among the Khyber Hills. The Boers knocked us silly at a mile. The Burman gave us Irrawaddy chills, and a Zulu impy dished us up in style. But all we ever got from such as they was pop to what the Fuzzy made us swallow. We held our bloomin' own, the papers say, but man for man, the Fuzzy knocked us holler. So here's to you, Fuzzy-Wuzzy, and the missus and the kid. Our orders was to break you, and of course we went and did. We sloshed you with martinis, and it wasn't hardly fair. But for all the odds agin you, Fuzzy-Wuzz, you broke the square. He hasn't got no papers of his own, he hasn't got no medals nor awards, so we must certify the skill he's shown in using of his long two-handed swords. When he's hopping in and out among the bush with his coffin-headed shield and shovel spear, an happy day with Fuzzy on the rush will last an healthy Tommy for a year. So here's to you, Fuzzy-Wuzzy, and your friends, which are no more. If we hadn't lost some messmates, we would help you to deplore. But give and take's the gospel, and we'll call the bargain fair. For if you have lost more than us, you crumpled up the square. He rushes at the smoke when we let drive, and before we know he's hacking at our head. He's all hot sand and ginger when alive, and he's generally shamming when he's dead. He's a daisy, he's a ducky, he's a lamb. He's a injure-rubber idiot on the spree. He's the only thing that doesn't give a damn for a regiment of British infantry. So here's to you, Fuzzy-Wuzzy, at your home in the Sudan. You're a poor benighted heathen, but a first-class fighting man. And here's to you, Fuzzy-Wuzzy, with your A-Rick head of hair, you big black bounding beggar. For you broke a British square. By the old Moolmean pagoda, looking lazy at the sea, there's a Burma girl a-settin', and I know she thinks of me. For the wind is in the palm trees, and the temple bells, they say, come you back, you British soldier, come you back to Mandalay. Come you back to Mandalay, where the old flotilla lay. Can't you hear their paddles chunking from Rangoon to Mandalay? On the road to Mandalay, where the flying fishes play, and the dawn comes up like thunder out of China across the bay. Her petticoat was yellow, and her little cap was green, and her name was Soupy Yawlet, just the same as Theeball's queen. And I seed her first a-smoking of a whacking white cheroot, and a-wasting Christian kisses on an heathen idol's foot. Bloomin' idol made of mud, what they call the great gourd bud. Plucky lot she cared for idols when I kissed her where she stood, on the road to Mandalay. When the mist was on the rice fields, and the sun was dropping slow, she'd get her little banjo and she'd sing Koola Lo Lo, with her arm upon my shoulder and her cheek again my cheek. We used to watch the steamers and the athies piling teak. Elephants a-piling teak in the sludgy, squudgy creek, where the silence hung that heavy, you was half afraid to speak on the road to Mandalay. But that's all shoved behind me, long ago and fur away, and there ain't no buses running from the bank to Mandalay. And I'm learning here in London what the 10-year soldier tells: if you've heard the Easter calling, you won't never heed naught else. Nah, you won't heed nothing else but them spicy garlic smells, and the sunshine and the palm trees and the tinkly temple bells on the road to Mandalay. I am sick of wasting leather on these gritty paving stones, and the blasted English drizzle wakes the fever in me bones. Though I walks with 50 housemaids out of Chelsea to the Strand, and they talks a lot of loving, but what do they understand? Beefy face and grubby hand, Lor, what do they understand? I've a neater, sweeter maiden in a cleaner, greener land, on the road to Mandalay. Ship me somewheres east of Suez, where the best is like the worst, where there aren't no 10 commandments and a man can raise a thirst. For the temple bells are calling, and it's there that I would be, by the old Moolmean pagoda, looking lazy at the sea, on the road to Mandalay, where the old flotilla lay, with our sick beneath the awnings when we went to Mandalay. On the road to Mandalay, where the flying fishes play, and the dawn comes up like thunder out of China, across the bay.
I went into a public house to get a pint of beer. The publican, he up and says, "We serve no redcoats here." The girls behind the bar, they laughed and giggled fit to die. I outs into the street again, and to myself says I, "Oh, it's Tommy this and Tommy that and Tommy go away. But it's thank you, Mr. Atkins, when the band begins to play. The band begins to play, my boys, the band begins to play. Oh, it's thank you, Mr. Atkins, when the band begins to play." I went into a theatre, as sober as can be. They gave a drunk civilian room, but they hadn't none for me. They sent me to the gallery or round the music halls, but when it comes to fighting, Lord, they'll shove me in the stalls. But it's Tommy this and Tommy that and Tommy wait outside. But it's special train for Atkins when the trooper's on the tide. The troop ship's on the tide, my boys, the troop ship's on the tide. Oh, it's special train for Atkins when the trooper's on the tide. Yes, making mocker uniforms that guard you while you sleep is cheaper than them uniforms, and they're starvation cheap. And hustling drunken soldiers when they're going large a bit is 5 times better business than parading in full kit. Then it's Tommy this and Tommy that and Tommy, how's your soul? But it's thin red line of heroes when the drums begin to roll. The drums begin to roll, my boys, the drums begin to roll. Oh, it's thin red line of heroes when the drums begin to roll. We aren't no thin red heroes, nor we aren't no blackguards too, but single men in barracks, most remarkable like you. And if sometimes our conduct isn't all your fancy paints, why, single men in barracks don't grow into plaster saints. While it's Tommy this and Tommy that and Tommy fall behind, but it's pleased to walk in front, sir, when there's trouble in the wind. There's trouble in the wind, my boys, there's trouble in the wind. Oh, it's pleased to walk in front, sir, when there's trouble in the wind. You talk of better food for us and schools and fires and all. We'll wait for extra rations if you treat us rational. Don't mess about the cookroom slops, but prove it to our face. The widow's uniform is not the soldier man's disgrace. But it's Tommy this and Tommy that and chuck him out, the brute. But it's saviour of his country when the guns begin to shoot. And it's Tommy this and Tommy that and anything you please. And Tommy ain't a blooming fool. You bet that Tommy sees. What are the bugles blowing for? Said Fars on parade. To turn you out, the colour sergeant said. What makes you look so white? So white, said Fars on parade. I'm dreading what I've got to watch, the colour sergeant said. For they're hanging Danny Deever, you can hear the Dead March play. The regiment's in Hollow Square, they're hanging him today. They've taken of his buttons off and cut his stripes away, and they're hanging Danny Deever in the morning. What makes the rear rank breathe so hard? Said Fars on parade. It's bitter cold, the colour sergeant said. What makes that front rank man fall down? Said Fars on parade. A touch of sun, the colour sergeant said. They are hanging Danny Deever, they are marching of him round. They've halted Danny Deever by his coffin on the ground. And he'll swing in half a minute for a sneaking, shooting hound. Oh, they're hanging Danny Deever in the morning. His cot was right-hand cot to mine, said Fars on parade. He's sleeping out and far tonight, the colour sergeant said. I've drunk his beer a score of times, said Fars on parade. He's drinking bitter beer alone, the colour sergeant said. They are hanging Danny Deever, you must mark him to his place, for he shot a comrade sleeping, you must look him in the face. 900 of his county and the regiment's disgrace, while they're hanging Danny Deever in the morning. What's that so black agin the sun? Said Fars on parade. It's Danny fighting hard for life, the colour sergeant said. What's that whimpers overhead? Said Fars on parade. It's Danny's soul that's passing now, the colour sergeant said. For they're done with Danny Deever, you can hear the quick-step play. The regiment's in column and they're marching us away. Ah, the young recruits are shaking and they'll want their beer today after hanging Danny Deever in the morning.
Prelude to Departmental Ditties. I have eaten your bread and salt, I have drunk your water and wine. The deaths ye died I have watched beside, and the lives ye led were mine. Was there aught that I did not share in vigil or toil or ease? One joy or woe that I did not know, dear hearts across the seas? I have written the tale of our life for a sheltered people's mirth, in jesting guise, but ye are wise, and ye know what the jest is worth. The Vampire. A fool there was, and he made his prayer, even as you and I, to a rag and a bone and a hank of hair. we called her the woman who did not care. But the fool, he called her his lady fair, even as you and I. Oh, the years we waste, and the tears we waste, and the work of our head and hand belonged to the woman who did not know, and now we know that she never could know, and did not understand. A fool there was, and his goods he spent, even as you and I, honour and faith and a sure intent, and it wasn't the least what the lady meant, but a fool must follow his natural bent, even as you and I. Oh, the toil we lost, and the spoil we lost, and the excellent things we planned, belonged to the woman who didn't know why, and now we know that she never knew why, and did not understand. The fool was stripped to his foolish hide, even as you and I, which she might have seen when she threw him aside, but it isn't on record the lady tried. So some of him lived, but the most of him died, even as you and I. And it isn't the shame, and it isn't the blame that stings like a white-hot brand. It's coming to know that she never knew why, seeing at last she could never know why, and never could understand. When Earth's last picture is painted, when Earth's last picture is painted, and the tubes are twisted and dried, when the oldest colours have faded, and the youngest critic has died, we shall rest, and faith we shall need it, lie down for an eon or two, till the master of all good workmen shall put us to work anew. And those that were good shall be happy. They shall sit in a golden chair, they shall splash at a 10-league canvas with brushes of comet's hair. They shall find real saints to draw from, Magdalene, Peter and Paul. They shall work for an age at a sitting, and never be tired at all. And only the master shall praise us, and only the master shall blame. And no one shall work for money, and no one shall work for fame, but each for the joy of the working, and each in his separate star shall draw the thing as he sees it, for the God of things as they are. The White Man's Burden. Take up the white man's burden, send forth the best ye breed. Go bind your sons to exile, to serve your captives' need, to wait in heavy harness on fluttered folk and wild, your new caught, sullen peoples, half devil and half child. Take up the white man's burden, in patience to abide, to veil the threat of terror and check the show of pride, by open speech and simple and 100 times made plain, to seek another's profit and work another's gain. Take up the white man's burden, the savage wars of peace. Fill full the mouth of famine and bid the sickness cease. And when your goal is nearest, the end for others sought, watch sloth and heathen folly bring all your hope to naught. Take up the white man's burden, no tawdry rule of kings, but toil of serf and sweeper, the tale of common things. The ports ye shall not enter, the roads ye shall not tread. Go mark them with your living, and mark them with your dead. Take up the white man's burden, and reap his old reward, the blame of those ye better, the hate of those ye guard. The cry of hosts ye humour, slowly toward the light. Why brought ye us from bondage, our loved Egyptian night? Take up the white man's burden, ye dare not stoop to less, nor call too loud on freedom to cloak your weariness. By all ye cry or whisper, by all ye leave or do, the silent, sullen peoples shall weigh your gods and you. Take up the white man's burden, have done with childish days, the lightly proffered laurel, the easy, ungrudged praise. Comes now to search your manhood through all the thankless years, cold-edged with dear-bought wisdom, the judgment of your peers. In the Neolithic Age. In the Neolithic age, savage warfare did I wage, for food and fame and woolly horses' pelt. I was singer to my clan in that dim red dawn of man, and I sang of all we fought and feared and felt. Yea, I sang as now I sing, when the prehistoric spring made the piled Biscayan ice pack split and shove, and the troll and gnome and dwerg, and the gods of cliff and berg, were about me and beneath me and above. But a rival of Solutre told the tribe my style was outre. 'Neath a tomahawk of diorite he fell, and I left my views on art, barbed and tanged, below the heart of a mammothistic etcher at Grenelle. Then I stripped them, scalp from skull, and my hunting dogs fed full, and their teeth I threaded neatly on a thong. And I wiped my mouth and said, "It is well that they are dead, for I know my work is right and theirs was wrong." But my totem saw the shame. From his ridgepole shrine he came, and he told me in a vision of the night, there are 69 ways of constructing tribal lays, and every single one of them is right. Then the silence closed upon me till they put new clothing on me, of whiter, weaker flesh and bones more frail. And I stepped beneath time's finger, once again a tribal singer, and a minor poet certified by trail. Still they skirmished to and fro, men my messmates on the snow, when we headed off the aurochs turn for turn, when the rich Allobrogenses never kept amanuenses, and our only plots were piled in lakes at Burn. Still a cultured Christian age sees us scuffle, squeak and rage. Still we pinch and slap and jabber, scratch and dirk. Still we let our business slide, as we drop the half-dressed hide, to show a fellow savage how to work. Still the world is wondrous large, 7 seas from marge to marge, and it holds a vast of various kinds of man. And the wildest dreams of Kew are the facts of Kathmandu, and the crimes of Clapham chased in Martaban. Here's my wisdom for your use, as I learned it when the moose and the reindeer roamed where Paris roars tonight. There are 69 ways of constructing tribal lays, and every single one of them is right. The female of the species. When the Himalayan peasant meets the he-bear in his pride, he shouts to scare the monster, who will often turn aside. But the she-bear thus accosted rends the peasant tooth and nail, for the female of the species is more deadly than the male. When Nag, the basking cobra, hears the careless foot of man, he will sometimes wriggle sideways and avoid it if he can. But his mate makes no such motion where she camps beside the trail, for the female of the species is more deadly than the male. When the early Jesuit fathers preached to Hurons and Choctaws, they prayed to be delivered from the vengeance of the squaws. 'Twas the women, not the warriors, turned those stark enthusiasts pale, for the female of the species is more deadly than the male. Man's timid heart is bursting with the things he must not say, for the woman that God gave him isn't his to give away. But when hunter meets with husband, each confirms the other's tale. The female of the species is more deadly than the male. Man, a bear in most relations, worm and savage otherwise. Man propounds negotiations. Man accepts the compromise. Very rarely will he squarely push the logic of a fact to its ultimate conclusion in unmitigated act. Fear or foolishness impels him, ere he lay the wicked low, to concede some form of trial even to his fiercest foe. Mirth obscene diverts his anger. Doubt and pity oft perplex him in dealing with an issue to the scandal of the sex. But the woman that God gave him, every fibre of her frame, proves her launched for one sole issue, armed and engined for the same. And to serve that single issue, lest the generations fail, the female of the species must be deadlier than the male. She who faces death by torture for each life beneath her breast may not deal in doubt or pity, must not swerve for fact or jest. These be purely male diversions. Not in these her honour dwells. She, the other law we live by, is that law and nothing else. She can bring no more to living than the powers that make her great, as the mother of the infant and the mistress of the mate. And when babe and men are lacking, and she strides unclaimed to claim her right as femme and baron, her equipment is the same. She is wedded to convictions in default of grosser ties. Her contentions are her children. Heaven help him who denies. He will meet no suave discussion, but the instant, white-hot, wild, wakened female of the species, warring as for spouse and child. Unprovoked and awful charges, even so the she-bear fights. Speech that drips, corrodes, and poisons, even so the cobra bites. Scientific vivisection of one nerve till it is raw, and the victim writhes in anguish, like the Jesuit with the squaw. So it comes that man, the coward, when he gathers to confer with his fellow braves in council, dare not leave a place for her, where, at war with life and conscience, he uplifts his erring hands to some god of abstract justice, which no woman understands. And man knows it, knows, moreover, that the woman that God gave him must command but may not govern, shall enthrall but not enslave him. And she knows, because she warns him, and her instincts never fail, that the female of her species is more deadly than the male. Gentlemen rankers, to the legion of the lost ones, to the cohort of the damned, to my brethren in their sorrow overseas, sings a gentleman of England, cleanly bred, machinely crammed, and a trooper of the Empress, if you please. Yes, a trooper of the forces who has run his own 6 horses, and faith he went the pace and went it blind, and the world was more than kin while he held the ready tin, but today the sergeant's something less than kind. We're poor little lambs who've lost our way, ba, ba, ba. We're little black sheep who've gone astray, ba. Gentlemen rankers out on the spree, damned from here to eternity. God have mercy on such as we, ba, ya, ba. Oh, it's sweet to sweat through stables, sweet to empty kitchen slops, and it's sweet to hear the tales the troopers tell. To dance with blousy housemaids at the regimental hops and thrash the cad who says you waltz too well. Yes, it makes you cock a hoop to be a rider to your troop and branded with a blasted worsted spur, when you envy, oh, how keenly, one poor Tommy living cleanly who blacks your boots and sometimes calls you sir. If the home we never write to and the oaths we never keep and all we know most distant and most dear, across the snoring barrack room return to break our sleep, can you blame us if we soak ourselves in beer? When the drunken comrade mutters and the great guard lantern gutters, and the horror of our fall is written plain, every secret self-revealing on the aching whitewashed ceiling, do you wonder that we drug ourselves from pain? We have done with hope and honor, we are lost to love and truth. We are dropping down the ladder, rung by rung, and the measure of our torment is the measure of our youth. God help us, for we knew the worst too young. Our shame is clean repentance for the crime that brought the sentence. Our pride it is to know no spur of pride, and the curse of Reuben holds us till an alien turf enfolds us, and we die, and none can tell them where we died. We're poor little lambs who've lost our way, ba, ba, ba. We're little black sheep who've gone astray, ba. Gentlemen rankers out on the spree, damned from here to eternity. God have mercy on such as we. Ba, ya, ba. Shillin a day. My name is O'Kelly. I've heard the Reveille from Beer to Bareilly, from Leeds to Lahore, Hong Kong and Peshawar, Lucknow and Etawah, and 55 more, all ended in poor. Black Death and his quickness, the depth and the thickness of sorrow and sickness I've known on the way. But I'm old and I'm nervous. I'm cast from the service, and all I deserve is a shilling a day. Shilling a day, blooming good pay, lucky to touch it, a shilling a day. Oh, it drives me half crazy to think of the days I went slept for the Ghazi, my sword at my side, when we rode hell for leather, both squadrons together, that didn't care whether we lived or we died. But it's no use despairing. My wife must go charing, and me commissarying, the pay bills to butter. So if me you behold, in the wet and the cold, by the grand metropole, won't you give me a letter? Give him a letter, can't do no better. Late troop sergeant major, and runs with a letter. Think what he's been, think what he's seen, think of his pension, and God save the Queen. Boots. We're slogging over Africa. Foot, slogging over Africa. Boots, moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. 7, 6, 11, 5, 9 and 20 mile today. 4, 11, 17, 32 the day before. Boots, moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. Don't look at what's in front of you. Boots, moving up and down again. Men go mad with watching them, and there's no discharge in the war. Try to think of something different. Oh my God, keep me from going lunatic. Boots, moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. Count the bullets in the bandoliers. If your eyes drop, they will get atop of you. Boots, moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. We can stick out hunger, thirst and weariness, but not the chronic sight of them. Boots, moving up and down again, and there's no discharge in the war. 'Tain't so bad by day because of company, but night brings long strings of 40,000 million boots, moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. I have marched 6 weeks in hell and certify it is not fire, devil's dark or anything, but boots, moving up and down again, and there's no discharge in the war. Outsong in the jungle. Baloo. For the sake of him who showed one wise frog the jungle road, keep the law the man-pack make for thy blind old Baloo's sake. Clean or tainted, hot or stale, hold it as it were the trail, through the day and through the night, questing neither left nor right. For the sake of him who loves thee beyond all else that moves, when thy pack would make thee pain, say, Tabaki sings again. When thy pack would work thee ill, say, Shere Khan is yet to kill. When the knife is drawn to slay, keep the law and go thy way. Root and honey, palm and spathe, guard a cub from harm and scathe. Wood and water, wind and tree, jungle favour go with thee. Car. Anger is the egg of fear, only lidless eyes see clear. Cobra poison none may leech, even so with cobra speech. Open talk shall call to thee, strength whose mate is courtesy. Send no lunge beyond thy length, lend no rotten bough thy strength. Gauge thy gape with buck or goat, lest thine eyes should choke thy throat. After gorging wouldst thou sleep? Look thy den be hid and deep, lest a wrong by thee forgot draw thy killer to the spot. East and west and north and south, wash thy hide and close thy mouth. pit and rift and blue pool brim, middle jungle follow him. Wood and water, wind and tree, jungle favor go with thee. Bagheera. In the cage my life began, well I know the worth of man. By the broken lock that freed, man-cub, where the man-cubs breed. Scenting dew or starlight pale, choose no tangled tree-cat trail. Pack or council, hunt or den, cry no truce with jackal men. Feed them silence when they say, come with us an easy way. Feed them silence when they seek help of thine to hurt the weak. Make no bandars boast of skill, hold thy peace above the kill. Let nor call, nor song, nor sign turn thee from thy hunting line. Morning mist or twilight clear, serve him wardens of the deer. Wood and water, wind and tree, jungle favor go with thee. To 3. On the trail that thou must tread to the thresholds of our dread, where the flower blossoms red, through the nights when thou shalt lie prisoned from our mother sky, hearing us thy loves go by. In the dawns when thou shalt wake to the toil thou canst not break, heartsick for the jungle's sake, wood and water, wind and tree, wisdom, strength and courtesy, jungle favor go with thee. Mother of mine, if I were hanged on the highest hill, mother of mine, O mother of mine, I know whose love would follow me still, mother of mine, O mother of mine. If I were drowned in the deepest sea, mother of mine, O mother of mine, I know whose tears would come down to me, mother of mine, O mother of mine. If I were damned of body and soul, I know whose prayers would make me whole. Mother of mine, O mother of mine. Mowgli's brothers. Now chill the kite brings home the night that Mang the bat sets free. The herds are shut in byre and hut, for loose till dawn are we. This is the hour of pride and power, talon and tush and claw. Oh, hear the call, good hunting all that keep the jungle law. Kaa's hunting. His spots are the joy of the leopard, his horns are the buffalo's pride. Be clean, for the strength of the hunter is known by the gloss of his hide. If ye find that the bullock can toss you, or the heavy-browed Sambur can gore, ye need not stop work to inform us, we knew it 10 seasons before. Oppress not the cubs of the stranger, but hail them as sister and brother, for though they are little and fubsy, it may be the bear is their mother. There is none like to me, says the cub, in the pride of his earliest kill. But the jungle is large, and the cub he is small. Let him think, and be still. How fear came. The stream is shrunk, the pool is dry, and we be comrades, thou and I, with fevered jowl and dusty flank, each jostling each along the bank, and by one drowsy fear made still, foregoing thought of quest or kill. Now, neath his dam, the fawn may see the lean pack-wolf as cowed as he, and the tall buck, unflinching, note the fangs that tore his father's throat. The pools are shrunk, the streams are dry, and we be playmates, thou and I, till yonder cloud, good hunting, loose the rain that breaks our water truce. Tiger, tiger. What of the hunting, hunter bold? Brother, the watch was long and cold. What of the quarry ye went to kill? Brother, he crops in the jungle still. Where is the power that made your pride? Brother, it ebbs from my flank and side. Where is the haste that ye hurry by? Brother, I go to my lair to die. Letting in the jungle. Veil them, cover them, wall them round, blossom and creeper and weed. Let us forget the sight and the sound, the smell and the touch of the breed. Fat black ash by the altar stone, here is the whitefoot rain, and the does bring forth in the fields unsown, and none shall affright them again. And the blind walls crumble unknown, o'erthrown, and none shall inhabit again. King's Anchors. These are the four that are never content, that have never been filled since the dews began. Jacala's mouth, and the glut of the kite, and the hands of the ape, and the eyes of man. Red Dog. For our white and our excellent knights, for the knights of swift running, fair-ranging, far-seeing, good hunting, sure cunning, for the smells of the dawning untainted, ere dew has departed, for the rush through the mist and the quarry blind started, for the cry of our mates when the Sambur has wheeled and is standing at bay, for the risk and the riot of night, for the sleep of the lair-mouth by day, it is met, and we go to the fight. Bay, oh bay! The Spring Running. Man goes to man. Cry the challenge through the jungle. He that was our brother goes away. Hear now and judge, O ye people of the jungle. Answer, who can turn him? Who shall stay? Man goes to man, he is weeping in the jungle. He that was our brother sorrows sore. Man goes to man, oh, we loved him in the jungle, to the man-trail where we may not follow more. Rikki-Tikki-Tavi. At the hole where he went in, Red-Eye called to Wrinkleskin. Hear what little Red-Eye saith. Nag, come up and dance with death. Eye to eye and head to head, keep the measure, Nag. This shall end when one is dead. At thy pleasure, Nag. Turn for turn and twist for twist. Run and hide thee, Nag. Ha! The hooded death has missed. Woe betide thee, Nag. The White Seal. Oh, hush thee, my baby, the night is behind us, and black are the waters that sparkle so green. The moon o'er the combers looks downward to find us at rest in the hollows that rustle between. Where billow meets billow, there soft be thy pillow. Our weary wee flipperling curl at thy ease. The storm shall not wake thee, nor shark overtake thee, asleep in the arms of the slow swinging seas. You mustn't swim till you're 6 weeks old, or your head will be sunk by your heels, and summer gales and killer whales are bad for baby seals, are bad for baby seals, dear rat, as bad can be. But splash and grow strong, and you can't be wrong, child of the open sea. Toomai of the Elephants. I will remember what I was. I'm sick of rope and chain. I will remember my old strength and all my forest affairs. I will not sell my back to man for a bundle of sugar cane. I will go out to my own kind and the wood folk in their lairs. I will go out until the day, until the morning break, out to the wind's untainted kiss, the water's clean caress. I will forget my ankle ring and snap my picket stake. I will revisit my lost loves and playmates masterless. Quickern. The people of the eastern ice, they are melting like the snow. They beg for coffee and sugar, they go where the white men go. The people of the western ice, they learn to steal and fight. They sell their furs to the trading post, they sell their souls to the white. The people of the southern ice, they trade with the whalers' crew. Their women have many ribbons, but their tents are torn and few. But the people of the elder ice, beyond the white man's ken, their spears are made of the narwhal horn, and they are the last of the men. The Undertakers. When ye cried to Tabaki, my brother, when ye called the hyena to meet, you may cry the full truce with Jacala, the belly that runs on 4 feet. The Miracle of Purun Bhagat. The night we felt the earth would move, we stole and plucked him by the hand, because we loved him with a love that knows but cannot understand. And when the roaring hillside broke and all our world fell down in rain, we saved him, we, the little folk. But lo, he does not come again. Mourn now, we saved him for the sake of such poor love as wild ones may. Mourn ye, our brother will not wake, and his own kind drive us away. The Betrothed. Open the old cigar box, get me a Cuba stout, for things are running crossways and Maggie and I are out. We quarrelled about Havanas. We fought o'er a good cheroot, and I know she is exacting and she says I am a brute. Open the old cigar box, let me consider a space, in the soft blue veil of the vapour, musing on Maggie's face. Maggie is pretty to look at, Maggie's a loving lass, but the prettiest cheeks must wrinkle, the truest of loves must pass. There's peace in a Laranaga, there's calm in a Henry Clay, but the best cigar in an hour is finished and thrown away for another as perfect and ripe and brown. But I could not throw away Maggie for fear of the talk of the town. Maggie, my wife at 50, grey and dour and old, with never another Maggie to purchase for love or gold. And the light of days that have been, the dark of the days that are, and love's torch stinking and stale like the butt of a dead cigar. The butt of a dead cigar you're bound to keep in your pocket, with never a new one to light, though it's charred and black to the socket. Open the old cigar box, let me consider a while. Here is a mild vanilla, there is a wifely smile. Which is the better portion, bondage bought with a ring, or a harem of dusky beauties, 50, tied in a string? Counsellors cunning and silent, comforters true and tried, and never a one of the 50 to sneer at a rival bride. Thought in the early morning, solace in time of woes, peace in the hush of the twilight, balm ere my eyelids close. This will the 50 give me, asking naught in return, with only a sutty's passion to do their duty and burn. This will the 50 give me. When they are spent and dead, 5 times other 50s shall be my servants instead. The furrows of far-off Java, the isles of the Spanish Main, when they hear my harem is empty, will send me my brides again. I will take no heed to their raiment, nor food for their mouths withal, so long as the gulls are nesting, so long as the showers fall. I will scent 'em with best vanilla, with tea will I temper their hides, and the Moor and the Mormon shall envy who read of the tale of my brides. For Maggie has written a letter to give me my choice between the wee little whimpering love and the great god nicotine. And I've been servant of love for barely a 12-month clear, but I've been priest of cabanas a matter of 7 year, and the gloom of my bachelor days is flecked with the cheery light of stumps that I burn to friendship and pleasure and work and fight. And I turn my eyes to the future that Maggie and I must prove, but the only light on the marshes is the will-o'-the-wisp of love. Will it see me safe through my journey, or leave me bogged in the mire? Since a puff of tobacco can cloud it, shall I follow the fitful fire? Open the old cigar box, let me consider anew. Old friends, and who is Maggie that I should abandon you? 1,000,000 surplus Maggies are willing to bear the yoke, and a woman is only a woman, but a good cigar is a smoke. Light me another Cuba, I hold to my first sworn vows. If Maggie will have no rival, I'll have no Maggie for spouse.